Because of awareness, the attention becomes sharp. Everybody must have noticed this. Whatever you're doing, listening, seeing, it is absorbed completely. Awareness increases attention. Sometimes attention increases awareness. There is a relation between them, direct relation. When you are attending to something, you will remember it completely. So what is the issue here? And there is no issue actually. What is happening here, my guess is that in the past, you have spent most of the time in darkness, not in awareness, and most of the events, whether important or unimportant does not matter, most of the events were completely forgotten. This kind of life is like zombie life. People are just sleeping in their lives. No attention, no awareness, no knowledge. They do not remember. There is no sensitivity, so on. Probably this is happening for many seekers before knowledge and awareness practice. And now the scene has changed. And now it looks like I remember everything. Sometimes it will look like the time is flowing very, very slowly. Because each and everything that you do is stored in the memory. And the more events are stored in the memory, the slower the time goes. This is the illusion created by the memory. If there is nothing to store in the memory, it seems, the illusion is that time is passing very quickly. Like in sleep. When you are sleeping, nothing happens, nothing is stored in the memory, and no time passes in sleep. So your moment of going to sleep is exactly the same as the moment of getting up from the bed. The mind says no time passed. So the more things you store in the memory, the time becomes slower, and there can be more effects of awareness. And is it bad? No, it is not bad. Is it permanent? No, it is not permanent. And the reversal has happened, reversal of attention and memory. And the mind will take some time to adjust. And after some time, this will become normal. Just like living in darkness is normal for many people, they don't even notice it. Living in light also becomes normal. It is nothing special for experienced seekers. Those who are doing it since many years, for them these things are not unusual. So it is a good sign. It is a sign of progress actually. Obstacles, tests, these kind of experiences, reversal. Suddenly sensitivity increases. Suddenly events happen, like he was saying, spiritual kind of events which seem to be significant. Coincidences and so on. Signs appear. So all these things are good. These are good signs. But do not expect them to last, because the mind normalizes everything. So you're not going crazy. There is no memory fault. Nothing like this will happen. It is just a new feeling. That's all it is. Your observation is correct. And this is the fact that whatever we do is actually useless, unimportant, and meaningless also. Because there is nothing to achieve now. You have achieved everything. There is nothing to become now because you have become everything. You are the highest. Especially the worldly activities will appear to be totally meaningless and sometimes irritating. Suddenly you will see there will be reversal, like I said. Shift. You will see that I gathered these worldly things around me and I'm stuck in that. They are stealing my freedom, these activities, whether these things are stuff, people, your job, relationships, or friends, or anything. It will look like that my freedom is limited. I am not so free because of these things. And that is also true. Sometimes they are unimportant, sometimes they are irritating. So what is important then? Now, there is a good test of it. If something is important, it cannot be avoided. It cannot be avoided. This is the only test. So you can experiment small things, small experiments. Try to avoid, not do it, because the mind says it is unimportant, meaningless. Yes, that is the fact. The mind is not wrong. But you can check what happens after that. You don't do it. You do something interesting, entertaining. And there will be consequences, because not doing something is also an action. The action here is to avoid that which must be done, and there will be bad consequences. Now you can see that the experiment result is that, okay, this thing was important. This is how you find out what is important after knowledge. Like I said, two phases of life: before knowledge, after knowledge. They are like day and night. So this new situation here is that everything is unimportant. It's not a big problem. You see, that is how things are. It is a play, a leela. So it will not seem important. Now you can start experimenting. What if I stop talking to this person? Let us say somebody calls you every day. So I'm just giving an example. You stop talking, avoiding. And if nothing happens, there are no consequences, or there are good consequences. Now you're saving your time, and all the negativity and useless information that was coming from that person is gone. Peace of mind. So you can conclude that it was totally unimportant. The result of the experiment is it was seen as unimportant, and it will never happen again. There is nobody to actually decide and do. It will automatically be like this from now on. And if it cannot be avoided, for example, eating, is it important? No, from the perspective of the existence, it is totally useless event. But you can stop eating and see what happens. There are bad consequences. So you can conclude that no, eating is important. Food is important for this body. It must complete its allocation in this lifetime. That much intelligence I think everybody has. And now the question is how to get the food, and all the activities related to survival become important. Now, if you only do survival, it is just like surviving like a tree or a plant or an animal. It is very boring. So you also will find that some kind of entertainment, creative activity, social activity is also important to add some color in the life for joy and happiness. And suffering and pain, they come free. You don't need to try too much. It all happens. All the spices are added by Maya, by the illusion. So ultimately there is nobody to do. It will happen automatically. You will realize what is important, what is unimportant, even though the knowledge says something else. Practically, some things cannot be avoided. And practically, boring life is impossible to live. However comfortable it is, if it is boring, nobody likes it. So the illusion keeps happening. It cannot be stopped. Your perspective on it will change. That's all. Activities can change, but they do not stop. So the technical word here is necessary. See what is necessary. Do that. See what gives you happiness. Do that. And the rest you can classify as unnecessary and not do it. So probably in every meeting, we discuss this point. In every meeting, I say, do that which is necessary, avoid that which is unnecessary. Simple formula. What is unnecessary, it can be avoided. There are no bad consequences of it. Necessary, you cannot avoid it. And you can call it important and unimportant. That is fine. Only the word has changed. So another side effect of awareness, isn't it? Another side effect of awareness is that unnecessary is dropped automatically, because sometimes it becomes painful to do all these things. Not only it is unimportant, it causes suffering. So it is a good thing again. It is a good sign. The good use of time is to do that beautifully, perfectly, which is absolutely necessary, skillfully. In our traditional scriptures, this word comes. Skillfully means, in Sanskrit, you call it kaushal. Are you living your life skillfully? That's what is, sometimes they ask this thing in scriptures. How to live your life skillfully? What is this skill? The art of living, isn't it? So are you achieving your life goal? Are you minimizing the unimportant or unnecessary? Because all the impurities can be classified as unnecessary. Are you doing the purification? And obviously your spiritual practice is most necessary. Your spiritual path for which you took birth. The birth itself is an unnecessary event. but you took it. Now, there must be some good reason. It must be important for you. You came here. Now let's make use of it. Yes, from the perspective of the existence, that human birth is also totally useless and meaningless. What can we do? So now we are here. We need to give it some meaning. We need to make use of it. And usually for a seeker, there can be different opinions. But for a seeker, their spiritual goal is the most important. If you avoid it, your life will become dull. Because yes, everything else is highly boring. So you cannot say that my spiritual practice, my goal, spiritual goal, my progress, spiritual progress, evolution is unimportant. You cannot say like this and then do it. It is so easy, isn't it? The rest of the activities must be that which support your spiritual goal. Assuming the spiritual goal is the life goal here, pre-allocated, which for a seeker will be true. For an ordinary person, worldly matters are important, but we don't talk about these people. We are usually talking about seekers. So that is a good use of time and human life to progress spiritually. So what will happen is ultimately you will progress so much that you will get knowledge, spiritual knowledge. And the most important spiritual knowledge is self-realization, knowing what you are. Actually, the spirituality starts after knowing what you are. Before that is completely useless, but it must be done so that you reach self-realization. So the spiritual life starts like this. However, on the path of knowledge, you will see immediately that is the end of spirituality also. By end, I mean there is nothing more to achieve after this. There is the only one thing. And other practices support this final goal of self-realization. So now there is nothing to do. The path of knowledge will say, now don't do anything. Live a simple life, blissful life, peacefully, because it won't matter what you do now. You have reached the final. So on the path of knowledge is the end of everything. So now the only important thing that remains here, the use of time that can be logical, or the mind will say, yes, this is the right kind of use, is to remain in this knowledge, not to forget it. And that's why we added this practice of awareness. What else will you do? Everything else is useless. Everything else is meaningless. And this is the general statement. It applies to everybody, every seeker. There is one more thing that you can do. Realizing that all the creatures are my own form and they are in darkness. They are suffering. Usually we joke about them in our satsang, in our meeting, but that is just entertainment. Usually you will be filled with sadness when you see such people who are in darkness, ignorant people, because you can see that, yes, they are my forms. It does not matter whether it is play or it is like a movie or it is a dream. It does not matter at this level of illusion. You will see that their situation is pitiable. That is called compassion. And those who develop this kind of compassion, they start serving. Sometimes they see the importance of the teachings, importance of knowledge, and other supporting practices like purification, etc. And they start teaching. And we say that, and they think that it is important. That this kind of person will immediately see that it is necessary. And that becomes their life goal, new goal. Because the ultimate was reached, achieved. It is not such a big deal now. And it is not really a big deal. You were always like that. You were always ultimate. You simply forgot for a while. So now the new goal becomes spreading the light of knowledge to whomever is willing to take it. This is called the Bodhisattva tendency. And some of the scriptures, some of the wise people, gurus will say this is the highest kind of activity in this existence. The highest is to bring somebody out of darkness, out of ignorance. So it looks like that we are totally glorifying this activity. But in my experience, I have seen that nothing more is meaningful. Now the life is spent in service. And all other activities, they support this goal of service. If you don't understand Bodhisattva tendency, no problem. You can call it guru. And the tendency of being a guru, of teaching others, spreading the light, helping others. Because obviously you cannot teach others. That is impossible. You can only become like a lighthouse. You can only become an example. That is the teaching. I agree with this thing that it is the most important thing to do after you have reached the final goal. This is the final. You should be very, very sure about this, that there is nothing after this. If you are not sure, check again and again. Check again and again that this is the final realization. You are everything. Final realization. If there is any doubt that there can be something else. There can be this. Somebody said this is the final. So I'll check that. Yes, that becomes your life goal now. Verification of the teachings. Keep searching. But like he's saying, now everything seems unimportant, uninteresting. That means you have reached the final. Otherwise, you would be searching like a mad person. So this is also called spiritual depression. There are many videos on YouTube about this, and many people go through this. Now there is nothing to do, they will say, because everything starts breaking also. All your life, all your worldly things, all your relationships, they will fade away. They will go away. You will become alone, and nobody will understand what you say, and you will not want to talk to these people. It is very lonely at the peak because hardly anybody is there. So your activities are limited to now satsang and ashrams and get-togethers with other seekers who are absolutely in depression like you. That is a good use of time, isn't it? Spend time with spiritual people. Then you can avoid this kind of dark night of awakening. Initially, there is this newness, novelty. Look, everything is so crystal clear in awareness. I can remember everything. But as he said, it is not important, isn't it? The minor events, they are worthy of forgetting. You don't need to remember that. And once you realize this is automatic process. When the mind realizes, you can say mind adapts. And then you will forget minor. Sometimes you'll forget something major also. It's not a big thing. Awareness is not connected to capability to remember, to recall. Just like intelligence is not really connected to the ability to store information. Same way, awareness is not related to it. But this can be a side effect of awareness, and it will happen for some time. Those who have an impure mind or impure body, they will immediately see all the impurities that are there, and they will think something bad is happening to me. I was not like this. But what are they seeing is actually in the light of awareness, everything is now obvious. So sometimes it happens, and then everything becomes normal again. Everybody will get different kind of side effects, and the side effect is not our goal. Goal is awareness, always. And there can be some seekers who will say, these things don't happen to me at all. That is also normal. That is because the constitution of every mind, every person is different. They will get different kind of side effects. And just like I said, there can be negative side effects. Like the example I gave of impurities, they are seen. Now the person thinks everything is impure here, I need to purify. The guru has gone through all these things, so it becomes very easy if you have a guru. Otherwise, it is very confusing. So after knowledge also, and there is some role of guru. Before knowledge, obviously, guru is needed, and guru is needed after knowledge also, because there can be side effects. Sometimes there are very strange effects. You won't be able to do anything unskillfully if you are in complete awareness. Many people must have noticed this. You do not see your work or job as now a burden. You do it skillfully. Because you realize that there is no avoiding this. You cannot avoid some things. So you turn them into beautiful actions. Same action. You do it beautifully. And some people use a trick. They call it service. Like I said, there are different kind of people who think service is most important. So they turn their job into a service. I'm serving somebody something. They turn their family into service. They serve the family. They serve their children also. It does not become a responsibility now. It does not look like a responsibility, a burden. They say, I'm serving these children. Although they never say it openly because people will interpret it wrongly. You don't become a servant. You become a skillful yogi in the light of knowledge. So yes, I know only this much, that service is a skill. If you turn everything into service, you are living skillfully. It is very easy. What about my body? Yes, you are serving the body. The body needs food, you give it food. The body needs to be clean, you clean it. Body needs rest, treatment. Yes, you serve the body. It is a vehicle. Just like you are serving your car, service of a car, maintenance. This is itself is a path, isn't it? It sounds like a way of living. And this itself becomes your practice. How to live skillfully, how to become a servant. And if you are in awareness, yes, and the best use will happen automatically, because you will become aware of what is happening. And if it is not happening skillfully, you will automatically correct it. So all the useless activities will stop first. Actually, all that which was causing suffering is dropped first. It can be anything. Then all that was completely useless will be dropped. And finally, that to which you are attached to, that which you think is good for me, that which was providing some kind of happiness, that will also be dropped. Is it bad? No. This is the best thing. And that is why people say that awareness practice will cause end of cycle of birth and rebirth and death. Why? That is also dropped. It happens automatically. There can be questions like this now. How can I stop this cycle of... No, you cannot stop it. You did not start it. The human being is a product of this cycle. Not the source, not the doer. There is no doer. So it happens automatically. It's a result of knowledge. Many scriptures will say this. You got self-realization? Yes. Last human birth. No, sir, I have this impurity, that impurity. Just one more birth. No, I killed somebody. Just 2 more births. That's all, you see. This practice is so powerful. Although we cannot prove these things, isn't it? We can prove something which is our current experience, like changing of priorities, changing of what is important, what is not important, what is necessary, what is not, turning to skillful living, karma yoga. We can verify these things. They are the effect of knowledge. However, unfortunately, we cannot verify the advanced concepts like stopping of rebirth and evolution in higher forms. However, you should maintain a little bit of faith here, although that is not encouraged on the path of knowledge. The faith is very logical here, that the scriptures or the gurus are saying the wise things and they turn out to be correct all the time. They said, I am not the body mind. Yes, correct. And they said, you are this and that. Yes, correct. So they are saying it will, the awareness practice or aware living will stop the cycles of birth and death. They must be correct. And this is called faith, little bit. But ultimately you will get the evidence later on. Usually the guru will not say anything which is totally wrong. They can twist it sometimes to encourage the student. Sometimes they say, you will go to heaven if you practice nicely. Because the student will not understand anything else. The cycle of birth and death and causal body. What do they understand? They don't. They are all very new, like a child. The mother says, go to school, study and do your homework. You will get chocolate, or will go to picnic. I'll take you to picnic. Because that is what the child will understand. So the guru can say sometimes like this, that you will go directly to heaven. And unfortunately, those who are not seekers, they misinterpret this thing and they believe it blindly. It simply means that there won't remain any kind of suffering in your life. Heaven means no suffering, isn't it? Every kind of spiritual teaching has a little bit of truth behind it. Sometimes it is simplified depending on the intelligence of the person. On the path of knowledge, we don't do this because we know the pitfall. I tell you something twisted and you will assume it completely true. So we always make use of direct experience and logic. But it is logical. Signs are beginning to appear in seekers that they are getting detached, virakti. They are finding even the important things unimportant. They are finding the necessary things unnecessary. So, if you somewhat project it in future, Not much. You will see that the gurus, the wise people are right. It can happen. But you will get the evidence later on. We are all like children. We don't have the capacity to know the higher experiences at this time, which is fine. Everything happens at the right time. I'm not saying that you should accept everything on faith, but I'm saying you should be positive. Think positively.